The total sales in millions of dollars of a small business is represented by the following equation, while the total expenses of $1 million is represented by the second equation, where X represents the number of months. At this time, please change where X equals 0 instead of X equals 1. Please change that on your paper. We want to write a function that represents profits. So first of all, we have to understand what profit is. Profit is how much you make. Profit is how much you make when you subtract and you take the total expenses away from how much you are selling. So if I take sales and I subtract expenses, if you are a business and you take sales, so how much you earn in, like for instance, if you have a small shop, how much you earn, and then you subtract expenses like paying your employees, the cost of products, the cost to run the business, that ends up with your profit. So at this time, we're going to go, what is sales? This represents our sales. So we're going to go, okay, so our profit, which we're going to represent as P of X, is going to be the first equation, subtract the second equation. And I'm not even going to combine like terms. I'm going to be lazy. Okay, the next one says we want to graph all of these on the same window. So can everybody do second plus 7, 1, 2? And we're going to go up to y equals. And I'm going to start by plugging in the P of X first. And let's all do the same so we have the same colors. Let's do the same. So in the blue, I'm going to put a parentheses and 2x squared subtract x plus 7. And now I'm going to subtract that from 5x plus 7. So here is going to be, again, my sales subtract my expenses. Now go down to the second line. So I've taken care of doing the profit. Let's do sales second. So in sales is going to be 2x squared, subtract x plus 7, and finally is going to be expenses, which is 5x plus 7. Profit is first, sales second, expenses. Now go to Windows, and we're going to do our window, the domain between 0 to 12. And then we're going to go zoom fit. So on our calculator, like we learned in the first unit, we're going to go zoom, and it is going to show the range that aligns with, where does my zoom fit? That aligns with the domain of 0 to 12. Okay, that's going to be my profit. The second is going to be my sales, and the third is going to be my expenses. So I'm going to come off to the side. I'm going to draw a quick picture of what this looks like. It's something like this. If you've just come into class, you want to go grab your try these. If you do not have them there, grab them off the wall. Okay, so I've taken care of creating the equation and of graphing all three. Let's now find the profit. Go back up here, and I want you to erase the second and the third line so that we only have on here the profit. We only have the profit. Find the profit in September. So this represents months. This represents time in months. What month is September? 9. So I want to know when x equals 9, what is the outcome? So we're going to go second trace value and type in 9. Second trace value, type in 9. Now if you only put down 108, the profit is not at $108. What is the profit? 108 million. Okay, let's go down to number 2. Number 2, it says the population of fruit flies can be represented by the following equation, where x represents the number of days. Okay, how many fruit flies were present on day 10? So we're simply going to plug 10 in here. So 2 times 10 squared plus 4. And then we just go about, we're going to use PEMDAS as we solve this. So there is no work to do in parentheses. 10 squared is going to be 100. And 2 times 100 is 200. 2 times 100 is 200 plus 4. So we have 204 fruit flies. How do we find the inverse of something? Well, I'm going to replace P of X with Y. And to find the inverse, I'm going to first start by switching the X and Y. And now I want to isolate the Y. So I'm going to move forward to the other side. I'm going to be lazy here and not show my work, but I'm going to move to the other side by subtracting. So x subtract 4 equals 2y squared. And to isolate the y, then I'm going to divide by 2. Give us a little more room here. X minus 4 divided by 2 equals y squared. And now I take the square root of both sides. Now normally I would say put a plus or a minus here. Take a plus or a minus. But in this case, we're talking about the number of fruit flies, the population number of days. There's not a negative number of days. There's not a negative number of fruit flies. So this is my inverse equation. Ask Oswald to grab those and you have a seat next to him, please. Tell her where to use. Okay, last. Our very last thing here is use this inverse to determine how many days will it take for the population to reach 76 fruit flies. So we're going to take our graphing calculator here, or we could do some mental math, and I'm going to substitute 76 into this problem. So 76 is going to go right here. 76 is going to go right here. We have 76 subtract 4, and then I'm going to divide it by 2. But now I need to take the square root of that number, and we know the square root of 36 is 6, so it will take 6 days in order to reach a number of 76 fruit flies.